Hello, reporting to you live from Albuquerque, New Mexico, where
It's warm.
It's warm. It's warm, 70 degrees during the day, and then at night it's
Freezing.
Yeah, it's freezing. So we wanted to talk about winter because that's what we've been dealing with as full-time RVers. We have had some real interesting times due to winter. When you are living in a box, a metal box and it's freezing and you have all your water lines underneath and your water is like not insulated, and I mean, bad things can happen, right?
Oh yeah, quickly. As we found out.
Yeah.
The hard way.
So we decided that to cut our teeth before we started heading west and getting like a lot of miles in the rig, that we would take the RV for Thanksgiving to visit Iowa. So we were there like, almost 3 weeks, and it never got above freezing. And luckily, shout out to Scott, our bestie that gave us hookups and water and everything on his farm to store the rig. But we really got acquainted with propane, furnace, like all the components. So
Yeah. I mean, so we could have space heaters. That keeps the inside warm, but not the outside.
Yeah.
So the pipes and everything will freeze if you're just relying on space heaters. So you have to allow your thermostats to actually run and hit the appropriate temperature so the furnace will run and help keep the pipes from freezing.
exactly.
And so you will burn through propane pretty quickly when it never gets above freezing in a week.
Yes, and we did. And we learned that every 2 or 3 days we had to drive back to where the RV was parked because we were staying with our folks, our family, and we had to come back and refill the propane tanks like every 2 to 3 days just so that nothing would freeze. And then once we left there, we went down. We were going to boondock for a couple of days in Illinois. And you remember at McDinger's when we boondocked at the truck stop for the first time? Well, we didn't have water because everything had frozen. So this is where we're staying tonight. This is our first real, have we boondocked yet?
Not really.
No. So this is our first time to boondock. Like, we're off grid, we don't have water, and well, that's a whole nother story. We had no hookups that night. We were just trying to drive as fast as we could to get down to the south and hopefully outrun winter. And we got to Illinois, and our battery banks the solar had not recharged the lithium batteries at all that full day of travel, because when it's freezing, your lithium batteries won't hold a charge.
They basically turn off.
Yeah.
To prevent damage.
So by the time we got to Illinois, we were really disheartened to see that we only had 30% battery life, which was not enough to stay warm, to keep the furnace going, nothing.
To even run the slides. I mean, we were worried about that. So we just put the slides back in, hitched it back up to the truck in order to just get up and go the next morning as soon as day broke.
Yeah. So at midnight, the furnace turned off. We had no heat. We had no electric blanket. We had no space heaters. We got up in the morning and it was 30-something degrees inside our bedroom.
You could see your breath.
You could see your breath. I put on a jacket to go outside, and it was actually warmer outside than it was inside. And then all over the RV, we had icicles.
Mm-hmm.
We beelined it to get full hookup, so we went down to Nashville that night, and it was a cold front everywhere, so it was 23 degrees still when we got down to the south into Nashville. But we had icicles dangling off of all of the internal faucets, like the bathroom sink, the kitchen sink, and the lines were frozen, the water pump wasn't running. It was a mess. Tell them about our sewer pipe.
Oh yeah, that frozen broke, so we had some leaky sewage. Luckily gray water only, but
We had a gray water slushy.
Yes. Yep.
Yep.
So.
And we've had some fun.
Oh yeah, well, little did we know this was going to be like a super extraordinary cold winter, and we kept moving and moving and moving, even to the point where we got to the southest point in the U.S., and it was still getting below freezing.
Right. Yeah. We were down near the Rio Grande in Mexico. And
yeah, the wind was howling and freezing.
Yeah. So winter is interesting, and there's certain things that you need to do, like precautions, like for example, tonight it's going to be what, 29, 30. So
Yeah, just below freezing. So
yeah.
we're gonna have to disconnect.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to disconnect from the water spigot and disconnect
and drain the lines too.
And then most of the time, just like you would in a house, we have to open the cabinet doors and run the furnace and maybe keep some space heaters going in the toy hauler bathroom. So it's really interesting, but thank God for electric blankets and solar when it's warm enough to charge the batteries.
And now a generator.
And now a generator. We have a generator now. So that Illinois thing that happened will never happen again, thanks to the generator and my super handy husband who can fix anything.
It was many weeks of getting it installed, but we got it.
It really was. And props to my family that even helped. And you guys are the dynamic duo.
Alan's doing all the work.
How much does she pay for that detail?
Yes! Baby! You did it! You are the man. We have a generator so we can like legit boondock, which we did this weekend with in freezing temps, with no water and no power. We did it because of that generator, and so that made all the difference. So that's our update, and now we are in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and we are walking along the Piedras Marcadas Canyon, and that means the marked rocks. And basically there are petroglyphs from ancient Pueblo people here written in the rocks, and I will show you a few, but quickly I'll tell you this: if I had to title all of the petroglyphs, I would call it "Tell me there's aliens coming without telling me." That's pretty much what I would say. I'll show you and you can be the judge of that.
It's interpretive art.
It is. It's interpretive art for sure. All right, that's it. Stay warm.